Hello, happy Sunday, everyone. Hey, cool gamer. Good to see you. Hey, Denise, I was just wondering about you. Hope you're doing well. Just give me one quick second. I'm trying to figure out one thing here. Hold on. Um, in regards to this case that just hit me. Oh, fuck. Hey, Pamela. Hey, Sandy. Oh, it's Monday already. Oh, yeah. Wait, it's Monday. Wow. Columbus Day really messes me up. Happy Monday. It's because I had a wedding yesterday, so that was on the Sunday. So, okay. Interesting. This is what I was looking for. Hmm. Okay. How's everybody's Monday going? You're doing as well as you can? I know, Denise. I'm sure sometimes are better than others. So there's a lot of things. Hey, Pointer Lover, that I want to talk about tonight. But first, I just read when I was looking up some different things, I came across this article that was just like one of the about a serial jogger SA person to be released from prison in mid-December after serving 36 years behind bars, almost all of his maximum sentence. Richard Gilmore, arrested in 1986, called the jogger because he staked out victims, ran by their homes, admitted to 9 different girls, and he's getting out of jail. He will remain under supervision until 2034, which I would say mean probation. Oh, they did, Pamela, for sure. Hey, PJ's Wish. Hey, Lighting the Way Home. Look, I'm not saying people can't be rehabilitated. I get it. I don't know. I think after oh, I'm sorry, Denise. I think after me, 3 young girls, I probably think maybe he should get life in prison, but that's beside the point. It just I hope he is rehabilitated, but I got to tell you, after seeing what just happened to Eliza Fletcher, exactly, Pointer Lover, you're not going to convince me that. Yeah, I was kind of disgusted about that. Um, Prayers to the victim's family that have to deal with knowing that he's getting out. But so anyways, that just was like, do we learn nothing? Hey, Rhodey gal, do we learn absolutely nothing? But all right, so Quinton, we are going to listen. They had a press conference today. It wasn't like, right, Pamela? It wasn't earth shattering, but there are, I think, some things we can learn from it. I will say that today well, let's just go ahead right to the video. Today, they were at, so this right here is just the default order for paternity. This was just, we knew that she was going to have to pay. Okay, so this was this morning, or this was just recently. They went back. They were draining what we believe, from everyone I've heard, is they were draining the pool in the backyard. Now, why? I couldn't tell you. And this was this morning. You could hear the pumps going on. So before I go on, tell me. I know PJ's wish. Hey, Beatlemaniac. I know. So if for anybody coming in, um, if you see some people in chat, we were just talking about a man that is um has been in prison for 36 years for violently, SA younger women, and he's getting out of jail. And so we were just kind of going over how that kind of disgusts us all. But so let me show you that. So why do you think, let's just talk really quick, why the pool? Because we know he's not in the pool, obviously, right? Why do we think that they might be looking? I just want to brainstorm this because this is actually a question I have. Why would they be draining the pool? Could there be some sort of, can evidence be left in a pool? We're talking chlorine. Would that kill prints? I guess I don't know exactly. Yeah, every picture I've seen of the pool, it's been clean. So I'm trying to figure out draining it. So I'll be watching that while I get this press conference up. Also, I have seen some things around that Grandma does have quite a significant record herself. But look, I don't think we can judge her necessarily on her past. I don't think that's neither here nor there. Hey, Yvette. The gate was open? Yeah. Possible Beatlemaniac. The family needs their peace and the bad guy needs his secured life too as well. Oh, PJ's wish. I know who you're saying. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Yvette. I think they want to pull apart the. So, Pointer Lover, that was. Hey, hey, Toy. That's what I was wondering, Sandy, too. Both of you are on my thought process. I thought, my word, he can't fit in something like that. Stranger things have happened. Hey, Amber. So I hate to be frustrated, but there are moments that I'm pretty frustrated. So I'm frustrated, with the grandma, but I also know that it's got to be difficult if her daughter is an addict and some of the manipulation. But I mean, let's all be real. She should have never been left alone with those kids. I mean, that's the bottom line. But so I do have moments of frustration with grandma, but I do think she loves it. I didn't mean to put that past notes. Okay, let me get to the press conference here. I don't even know what to think anymore. I've got a few things though. Hey, Jen. Punkette's gonna come in here eventually, and Kate, hopefully they were doing something. So if you hear my son, I'm gonna tap on that. He's watching Garfield and he loves that show, so he gets kind of excited when he's watching it.
As we continue,
so this is today around 2 p.m.
our search for Quinton Simon, I want to update you on our aggressive efforts to find him. I want to assure everyone that we are continuing to use every investigative resource available for us to locate little Quinton. We have conducted multiple interviews, executed multiple search warrants, and we've canvassed numerous specific geographic areas. The day Quinton was reported missing, we requested the assistance of the FBI. They responded immediately and have been on the scene with our officers since that time. Today, there are more than 40 FBI agents and personnel on the ground in Chatham County working with our department to find Quinton. This includes all agents assigned to the Savannah and Brunswick resident agencies and professional staff, agents from other FBI offices, including members of the Child Abduction and Rapid Deployment Unit, and other subject matter experts. They have been continuously working with the Chatham County Police Department for the last 5 days. We believe with the continued assistance of the FBI, we will have a resolution to this case. We understand that people far beyond Chatham County have become emotionally invested in this incident and the search for Quinton, and they want answers. We are committed to finding those answers, and we are committed to finding them. With that said, I'll be happy to answer a few questions.
Chief, this has been going on for about 5 days now, and I think everybody is kind of moving towards worst case scenarios. At what point, do you say that there's some criminal aspect to what's going on?
Yes, and that's a very good and that's a very fair question. We're looking at it from multiple fronts, and one of it being a criminal investigation, as well as a missing child at this point. We don't have anything confirmed, so we can't say anything absolutely. But it is fair to say that our efforts and the cooperation with the FBI, and then providing an abundance of resources to us, that we are looking at the criminal investigation aspect of it as well.
Chief, how are you looking at the criminal investigation? Or what people are you looking into? Is it turning towards family members, or?
Everybody is being looked at. Everybody is being interviewed. Everybody that had contact with Quinton in the most recent time of his disappearance is being looked at, is being interviewed. And that's an enormous amount of work, obviously, that takes, and we are continuing to do everything that we can do to gather evidence if it's there. We have to follow, obviously, an investigative process. We have to follow the law. We have to get search warrants. I know there's a lot of interest out there and probably some chatter of why haven't you done this and why haven't you done that. Well, we have a constitution to follow. We have the law to follow, because we want to make sure we get it right. We want to make sure we do this as professionally and as expertly as we can. So if, and I say if, we have to prosecute anyone in this case, that we've done it right, that we don't lose evidence in an evidentiary hearing or anything like that. So we continue to work diligently, but we're going to work in the framework that we have.
What are the updates in the areas being searched? Where is it gone from? Where are you searching now?
Well, we went back today and researched the home in which he was last at. Trying to redouble our efforts and to kind of scrub, no pun intended, with scrub the area and make sure that we didn't miss anything.
When we saw FBI agents outside the home, what was the purpose of them being there?
They're there to help us. It's a Chatham County Police Department investigation. They are here in a support role, and I can't thank them enough. You don't bring 40 people, and some from all over the country, without an enormous amount of effort and expense. Those agents left their homes and left their families to come here and help Chatham County look for little Quinton. And I can't be any more appreciative of that.
Well, Chief, we filed open records request for the 911 call and for the body camera video for that initial response. It was denied today, and originally they said it was because this was a criminal investigation. The county attorney kind of backtracked and then gave us the law that you usually use in a criminal investigation.
Okay, really quick. One thing I want to say about this, because I've seen that people on Facebook and stuff were getting really heated over this media source trying to get body camera. If I remember, I don't believe I don't think that that's very uncommon for law enforcement to not give out the body cam footage or anything like that this early on in the case. If I remember correctly, with the Watts, people were trying to get body cam footage at the very beginning, and that was not happening. I know right after Shayna died in Texas, remember that we're still waiting on everything for that. I reached out and tried to get the records for that too and was denied. So I do think that when it's active like this, like they're not going to give out a body cam right now. At least I don't think so, in my novice opinion. I am all reading your stories too. That's incredible. And Jen, this case, it must it's got to hit home a little bit, but I didn't think that was that uncommon. that somebody was denied the body cam, but that's just me.
Why don't you want that out there? Why don't you want the public to hear this mother call 911?
We have to protect the integrity of the investigation, and that's first and foremost. I certainly understand people's interest in this case, your interest in this case, and I can appreciate that. But my responsibility and our responsibility is to do a professional investigation, that we don't do anything that impedes that we don't do anything that tarnishes the integrity of the investigation, and that's my sole responsibility.
Have any of the family members, are they still being cooperative, especially this mother, and have any of them told you that they don't want to talk anymore because they got lawyers?
I can't answer that question.
Chief, we're Leilani and Daniel right now. They are the parents and the boyfriend of this young boy, but we haven't seen them pleading to the public for help. Where are they right now?
I don't know where they are currently at this time. I do believe they've been staying at the residence. I don't know physically right now.
I might know the answer to this, but
do you know why it is that we have not seen them? They're not talking to us. They're not pleading to get their child back.
I don't have an answer.
There's an increase of activity in the area this morning. We saw Chatham County Fire, FBI at the house, a couple of looks like unmarked police vehicles. Is there a reason for increased activity today after kind of a drop off, at least at the house over the weekend?
As I just stated earlier, we were searching that residence again this morning.
I have a quick question for you, Chief. At this point in your investigation, and I know you can't speak specifically, but in cases like this, so you exhaust your first search, and now you're back into researching some of those, you said, targeted areas over the weekend. What happens next if no one's giving you tips, if there's no piece of evidence that changes this case? How long do you exhaust this, and then what do your investigators do after today?
Well, after today, I anticipate us working at least throughout the week. At some point, if I'm following your train of logic, that we may have to sit down and reevaluate where we're at. If we've exhausted everything that we think that we can do, if we ask ourselves that question and we think there's nothing else for us to do at this moment, then we got to sit down and reevaluate. But we're a long ways away from that.
And just from the start of the process of the investigation, now going on to Monday, do you feel like you all have gotten further along in the process and come to some sort of conclusion?
I do.
Do you have, what makes you believe that, if you don't mind me asking?
I can't get any specifics of the case.
How you guys doing? This has got to be exhausting. You can tell that you look tired. How are your investigators doing? This is a tough case.
Thank you. Thanks for that question. I appreciate it.
Hi, Parker.
Hey, so that's pretty much all of the conference. Yvette, that's a good point. They did release the 911 calls in Debbie. But I saw on Twitter that Jennifer Coffindoffer, I think I got that right, said, I do too, PJ's wish, that it's most likely the FBI knows some things. And if it's the FBI remember, FBI just got involved in Debbie's case. If the FBI is in it already and they're probably keeping things real tight, it's more of them saying like what is going to be released and what's not. Panthera, yes, some of the stuff that's coming out about grandma's past, I got to tell you, it's a little alarming. Yeah.
Parker, did you know that he was named after his uncle who's in jail for murder?
Oh my God, I know.
Like what?
And so Denise, that's true. There might be stuff on this body cam video that, is is incriminating. There was one other thing I was going to say that.
Hi, Sandy.
Yeah, I don't trust her anymore either. And we've still not heard where where the brother was, Paul. He lived there. So, all right, to shoot your story out before we get lost in the rest of these details.
Yeah, no, I just was going to say this real quick.
Yeah.
It's so important. It's such a huge lesson to learn. My cousin knew that her nephew wasn't being taken care of. He was being neglected. Both of his parents in their early 20s, same thing, drug addicts. They were doing a lot of things that they shouldn't have been doing. Well, my cousin was in the process of getting custody. And because it's technically her husband's nephew, it's her nephew, but
yeah,
he really needed to be the one to push it. And she was trying to push him to get it to go through faster. And unfortunately, it didn't happen in time because they left one of their stashes out. And drug addicts are so dumb that they think that they're smart. They really do. They think that they can just like pull the wool over anyone's eyes because they get away with it for so long. They actually tried to tell the police that there was a little bag with white powder substance, and they were trying to say it was sheetrock or paint chips. Trying to tell the police that, and that's what the baby ate. And the thing is, one, I wish my cousin had pushed harder to make it happen sooner, because maybe the baby would be alive today. But also that these drug addicts, they have no boundaries. Instead of calling 911 right away when something went wrong, they tried to put the baby in the bathtub, put cold water over his face, put ice on the back of his neck to try to like up. So he ended up dying at the hospital, and the doctor said, he would have lived if you had called 911 sooner and told us the truth, because then we would know to give him Narcan. They would have known what to do right away. So if you see something, you have to say something. I mean, and, waiting the next day or the next week or letting someone know, that's not enough. I mean, I don't
Oh
blame them.
my gosh.
Like with this case, I know that the babysitter did send pictures to the grandmother and try to warn her, but that's not enough. When the grandmother didn't act on that right away, that's when she should have just called 911 or called the local police and told them, so that they could have stepped in. Because I feel like something really bad happened to that baby, and
So do
they
I.
cover it up. I mean,
I think that grandma, if she wasn't involved in anything, like as far as some of her past, if she was out of all that stuff, which let's just say she was, I think that knowing how much Leilani and how much addicts can manipulate their parents, I would have been calling because as the babysitter, because you heard the babysitter even said, grandma texts back, like after saying, take the kids, don't let them back in her care. The grandma then texts back and said, 3 hours later, said, no, I want Leilani to know she can do whatever she puts her mind to, or all this stuff, which means in that 3 hour span, most likely mom gave grandma a huge like spiel and
right.
is probably what happened.
That's what this couple did too, because he was the young, the baby's dad was the youngest. And of course, mom, tried to do everything she could to, get him help. And he didn't want help. Neither one of them wanted help. But now they're both in jail and they're in their early 20s. They're not going to
Oh my gosh. Wow.
tragic.
Hey,
But
Mike.
I just wanted to come up and share that.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
I know that listening to the babysitter today, it really did sound like she tried to tell the grandmother, and I give her credit for that.
I do too.
I don't recall her saying anything about contacting the police. Maybe she did, but I mean, I guess you'd call child services or something, because
the fact that grandma busted into her house accusing her.
I know.
The
nerve.
But yeah, absolutely, the nerve. And again, I'm guaranteeing you, mom's in the background, like, well, she probably blah blah blah, all the reasons, because now babysitter's implicating that it was mom, and yeah, it's totally. This is like, if grandma's in the clear of everything, this is such a classic case of, well, Debbie, just like we saw with Debbie, which we have lots of people say she enabled her daughter, and it cost her life. And now this might have cost, another kid's life. There's one thing I'm confused on. So it's being said, the timeline here. So 6 a.m., it's alleged that the boyfriend, Danny, he saw Quinton in his pack and play, and then Danny went to work. And then now it's being said that at 9 a.m., so I've heard two things. It was the boyfriend who texted the babysitter and said, have you seen Quinton? But then I've also seen it said that it was mom. Do you know which one is the case?
I heard it was the boyfriend that texted, have you seen Quinton? And he said, the babysitter said no, and then got in her car and drove over there and asked, like, do you want my help? And they said, no, we don't need help.
And isn't that when Leilani called the police was when the babysitter went over and was like, "Hey."
Yeah, they didn't. And the I think she didn't. She also say that the grandmother didn't even know.
So the babysitter's the one that called grandma and said, "Hey,
Yeah.
Quinton's missing."
Right.
And so when grandma then called Leilani to say what is going on,
Right.
Leilani told grandma he was with his dad.
Right, which was clearly a lie because he was nowhere near there.
So why lie?
Right.
From my understanding, is on Facebook, it was said that from somebody who apparently knows, and again, this is Facebook speculation, but that dad is aspiring artist, Panthera calls him, because he's like trying to be a rapper, I guess. That he is allegedly in Atlanta. Boyfriend is in Atlanta, staying with, I don't know, it doesn't say. He's in touch with investigators and will continue to be. And then some Jenny chick says, "Where's his baby's daughter?" And the person replies that CPS took her and the other kids. They're with Leilani's aunt in Savannah at a disclosed location. I'm going to guess it says, supposed to say, you don't know. He and his parents are trying to gain full custody of his, which means the daughter.
Right.
That's probably pretty accurate. I can't imagine I can't imagine they were allowed to stay at the residence today as they're draining the pool, the sheriff said he didn't know where they were. He thought they were still staying at the residence. I thought that's kind of surprising because they're giving them time to clean things up, but maybe they want them to try to clean. Maybe they are doing it on purpose.
It could be.
Like,
Is it
they want them to.
Was the 3-hour gap before they called 911? Was it truly 3 hours?
Yep, 6 a.m. was the last time he was allegedly seen. And what did Mike say? Oh, my typing sucks. And that was 9 a.m. was when the boyfriend, and wasn't the boyfriend so the boyfriend asked the babysitter, but this doesn't make any sense.
Well, it does though, if Leilani called him and said, "I can't find the baby."
But the boyfriend was the one that texted her and said,
"Have you seen him?"
He must have been like, so let's say he has nothing involved. So he texts her. Let's say he didn't, which I don't necessarily think, but he well,
maybe he's thinking his girlfriend was so effed up, doesn't remember dropping the kid off there.
True.
Anything's possible when drugs come into play.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing.
So do I,
where
Sandy.
else would we bring where else would she drop the kid off? Either the grandmother's or the babysitter. And the babysitter was the one who had the most, so that would make sense that he would text her, seen him. But I think that
no, Mike, that's cool. Hey, you gotta dig into this case, Mike. It's sad and crazy, and I have severe Evelyn Boswell vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Panthera. I did hear he was seen driving very slow, to leave for work. So here's something else I wanted to get your thoughts on. I just looked because I wanted to say, okay, there's a bazillion people living in this house, and it's a 3-bedroom house, 3 baths.
That's
so it's the grandparents, right? And mom and boyfriend, 3 kids, and the youngest brother. So I'm going to assume that Quinton doesn't have his own bedroom.
That would probably be an assumption.
Even if he's in with his older brother, which I doubt, most 3-year-olds, I don't believe the 3-year-old slept until 9 o'clock. I don't understand how he didn't say, "Where's Quinton?" or something. It doesn't make sense. And so I also don't believe that mom could sleep through an abduction or sleep through him going downstairs and disappearing, as she claims the door was open
when
she woke up.
plain devil's advocate, if she was high as a kite, yeah, she probably could have. If she nodded off, probably. And that's what
Yeah.
happened with my cousin's nephew. They fell asleep, and when they woke up, the baby had gotten into their stuff. That's
And I did
thing I thought of when I heard about this story.
And I did notice that grandma does have a baby gate from, where he can get out to the pool. Like there's the door, sliding glass doors or whatever, their little play spot outside, and then the gate so that they can't get into the pool area. But thank you, Mike. Yeah, so Seal, there's two brothers. One is locked for 45 years up for murder, and one
Mhm.
is the youngest brother. I believe he's only 20.
Do you imagine they named that innocent little baby after her brother who's in jail for murder?
No,
Get out there. I can't.
no.
These people.
Then there was one other thing that was crazy that I saw too. So do you think so? Grandpa, they were back at the other property of Grandpa's tonight. So let me show you. This is what I was going to show you. I wish Kate was here. She's been following this. I know she's got her thingy, but
We were just talking about this earlier, doing a live on this.
oh,
And then I saw you
should
live.
have.
I'm like, boom.
I know, and then I was gonna wait, and Punkette said, "No, just go ahead, do it." And all right, what's the younger one got on paper? I don't know. I haven't looked him up yet. Tia sent me all of their records last night, but it won't let me into it for some reason. So I'm hoping when she's done with her thing, I can look. But
You talking
okay,
about
so
Tia Dash?
yeah.
She has awesome notes.
Oh, she had it to me like boom, all of them.
Yeah. Very organized.
Okay. Yep. So here is where he went missing. You can see from here the pool, right? So it's alleged they drained that today. What is that? That is a giant woodshed from my understanding. Oh, wow. Okay. So allegedly right around this area down here, and I'm gonna guess it might be in this section, is Grandpa's other property because there's several sheds. Now, it sounded like there was a lot of sheds on his property and that he came and unlocked them all. But for some reason, there was quite a large police presence at the second property today. It is 0.39 miles away. I would be interested what direction the boyfriend turned when he went for work.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that I'm just it. I don't know. It's so hard for me to believe. Like even
I
with
think they'll
Megan,
have a baby on the property, on one of
you
those
do?
properties. Yeah.
Yeah, so do I. Just like they did Evelyn Boswell. But it's crazy because I think, how could a mother really do that? And then I always thought Evelyn Boswell's would come back in accident. I really did. Like what you're talking about, like Evelyn overdosed on Megan's. And then we found out like it was horrific. And no, it was completely intentional. And so now I think, I guess it's possible. Maybe boyfriend didn't want him around, maybe, who knows? I don't know, but 3-bedroom is really tiny for that many people. What else is my cousin's daughter she was 3, got into her oh my gosh, Mama Bear. That's crazy. Let's see if Brett here, this guy's been following it. Yeah, he didn't wake up out of a dead sleep. I don't necessarily know if he was even, like, I don't know. The only person we can verify was, this is what I was going to ask you your thoughts on, that saw him last was the babysitter when she dropped him off. The rest of the story is all based on what mom and boyfriend are saying. It sounds like boyfriend is now trying to play this role of he wants nothing to do with her. He's in Atlanta, he's a ridding of her, whatever. Oh, really, Annie? Yeah, you're okay. I haven't gotten there yet. Can someone please find out what the liquor store warehouse place the Aspire? Yes, I will, Panthera. So here's the other thing that I found on Buckhalter or whatever road is there is an environmental waterworks facility. Now, does that mean like like I guess what would that be? Is there going to be ponds near there? Like, is that something they could have put? Where did Jen go? Okay, Panther, yeah. Hold on, I want to type that out. Um,
Sorry, my Wi-Fi is awful.
no, you're good. I want to see what this place is. Water treatment. Okay, it says environmental waterworks at 309 Buckhalter Road. So it looks like it's a water treatment plant. So there's probably not anything outside. He could have, he could have gotten to it all.
Right.
Interesting. The girl is 23 years old and has 6. She has 6 kids?
No, I thought she only had 3 kids.
Yeah. I mean, trust me, 22 years old and 3 kids. She had a lot on her plate, but from what I hear, Panther, no, they haven't picked up what in the world did I just do? Oh, I was going to share. They haven't picked up any cents yet or anything, which is weird. I don't understand that. Okay, let's go to Brett's page and see if there's any. Here, he shows it here. Here's Grandpa's prop. So this is, here you go. Let me play this again. All right, so this is a pretty good map. This is Buckhalter. I know, Mike, isn't Jen funny? And her UFO internet makes it even better. So this is the swimming pool. This is why swimming pools scare me so much. Like, my kids are older now, but
she comes from money.
She does?
Yeah. I have gates up on mine, and my kids are in high school.
Yeah. So personal story about that. Sorry, guys, I don't mean to get off, but this is actually, it will relate. My friends did not and have a gate up for their kids, and the one was 11 and the other one was like 9. And when mom was on the phone inside one day, excuse me, it was the other way around. She was 9, he was 7, something like that. But they were little and they were running around the pool chasing each other. And mom was inside, and it was in September, and the girl tripped, and when she did, she hit her leg on the pool deck and it broke her leg, and she passed out and fell into the pool. So the younger brother jumped in to try to save her, but because obviously he was much younger than she was, he couldn't get her out. He went in to tell his mom, and she was like, I'll be right there. What do you do? I'll be right there. I'm on the phone. So by the time she got out there, because we were in New York and it was like really, pool by this time is green and stuff, she had to walk into the pool and feel for her until she found her. And at that point, she was passed away. So like because I thought of that story when you were saying you have a gate on your pool and your kids are teenagers. Like, I just am a firm believer in pools being gated. I just really do. Weird things can happen. I wonder if the psychologist will be brought in to question the 3-year-olds. I would, you know what, Toy, several people have said that because, again, I would imagine they were in the same room. Yeah, it was, Pamela. It was really awful, really terrible. So, Annie, that is surprising. So a lot of times when mom has custody, I thought that, or grandma had custody. I'm surprised mom was allowed to live there at all. There goes Jen. Yeah, it was really awful, you guys. Yeah, it was that was one of the worst. It's really terrible. And I always think I can't imagine. No problem, Jen. I can't imagine going in the pool and having to feel around until you could find your daughter, you know. It sucks. So let me make sure we haven't missed anything here. Yeah, I'm sorry I got off on that tangent. When Jen said that about teenagers and still having a gate. Okay, so yeah, so this was really good. So Grandpa does have a property. I get such bad. So one thing that in law enforcement does say, let's listen to the dispatch here in a second. Law enforcement does say is that when somebody says, "Hey, Sally," when somebody says to law enforcement, "Do you think he will be found?" Law enforcement says, "Yes." And then when they asked him why, they said, I can't give you the reasons for that. So I do believe that they have some idea, maybe some tips, some things like that have come in. I do think that we might be onto something as far as like the pool. I think they might have been checking the filters and things like that. Maybe not for him, but it is rebellious. It is. 3 years younger than me, was 5 and late. Wow, Amber. So let's listen to the dispatch call. I just want to, just the beginning of it. All right.
Dispatch chat on 7 Alpha 2, 7 Alpha 1, County West Sergeant. We have a signal 56, 535, Bocaulta Road, 535, Bocaulta Road. Complaint advised her 1-year-old son is missing. She woke up, her door was open. Advising he's unable to open a door. Think someone came in and took him. It's going to be a tan-skinned child with dark brown hair, green, blue eyes. Last seen at 6 a.m. this morning.
350 received.
Is Leilani, and her son is Hawaiian.
That's interesting. I just want to make sure we haven't missed any. No. Hey, Sleuth Mom. So that's the other thing. The mom has not made a public plea at all. And if it's correct, it looks like the boyfriend has turned on Mom as far as staying away from her. But this, that's allegedly. Yes, Amber. So now we hear, based on this dispatch call, that the door was open. Okay. There's still, even if she says the door was open, somebody came in and took him. But just like, hey, Melissa J, just like 20 minutes before that, she talks to Grandma and says that he's with the dad. I don't know that Mom would have ever even called police had the babysitter not pushed her hand to do so. I don't understand. Like, I don't understand. Why say? So even if the boyfriend accidentally left, let's say the boyfriend just accidentally mindlessly leaves the door open, which I don't believe happened. We're talking a 20-month-old child getting out of a playpen, which are usually pretty deeper, like even more so than a crib, I think, walking down the stairs and strolling out the door and just going. Exactly. There's like 4 different stories going around. And the actual mother is just MIA and not saying anything. But if the boyfriend was really, if the boyfriend was really going to turn on Leilani, I think he would have done it already. I don't know. I can't figure out I don't know. So the boyfriend called, I'm still trying to get the babysitter to come out. The boyfriend called the babysitter and asked if she had seen Quinton. So the babysitter does live on the street. Um, and she said no, then went to the house to look for him. And that's when she was told they didn't want her help. That is when mom called law enforcement and said he was missing. That's what I think, Rebellious. Yeah, Panther. So it did alarm me a little bit when the chief of police said they didn't know where she was. Not necessarily that he thought she was still staying at the residence, but I have to believe that the FBI is still like, no, it's keeping an eye on her. Like, dear Lord, I don't want another Brian Laundrie situation on our hands. Yeah, Sally, for sure. There's been so many different stories. Yeah, Rebellious. The only other person that could have really seen and knows those kids backwards and forwards, other than grandmother, is the babysitter, and yet they didn't want her help. It's alleged that even in the morning, like grandma was traveling back from wherever she was at the time. Yeah, no, Denise, that paper didn't state the rules of custody like that I've seen. The only papers I've seen is that grandma, that they have to start paying child support. So somebody said, well, she might have, done something to him based on the child support, but the child support is only $150 a month. I mean, yes, that is true. So that's the other thing is people are saying is that they waited till the trash was picked up for that day to call in Quinton missing. So, Panthera, will you email me what you found, because I've heard some things and yeah, it's a little bit scary. So somebody did say, well, if they waited till the trash was picked up, I mean, they're going to need to check. I don't know if this is how it works. They're going to need to check landfills. They're going to need to, search and do forensics on the trash. What do you call those things? Garbage truck. What did Jen say? Do we know if yeah, it was Jen. It was trash day. I mean, there's the weird thing is, why the last minute text to the babysitter? Why do you think the last minute text? Why did they wait till 5:30 to call the babysitter and say, I don't need you today, last minute? The only thing I can think of is that if they did it earlier than that, the babysitter would have called grandma and said, they're saying they don't need me tomorrow. And then grandma would have said, like, no, I'm not understanding the last minute text at 5:30. Yes. Yes, Yvette, they did. So they put blackout paper over the windows today. So one person caught this, and I'm still looking for the link, but they have found an article that says law enforcement said that calls the house crime scene at one point. I don't know if that's true. I'm still trying to find the link. I do wonder, it was interesting that he said this isn't that the last address, and this could just be me reaching at words, which is probably highly likely, but when law enforcement says that they were searching the last address he was at and not the last address he disappeared. I don't know. I just thought, yeah, Jen, I believe so too. Probably toy, and that text. I mean, this babysitter was so on the money. I can't imagine that they would have ever thought like she would not have let this go. What time did they go to the babysitters each day? 6 a.m. Seal. She was right on the street, and so I heard as well that they actually got him a little bit early from the babysitters the day before too, and then text at 5:30 saying they don't need her or whatever. But I do think that the amount of time that mom was left with them wasn't very long. Again, I don't know why she was ever left with them. There have been people saying, could grandma get in trouble for leaving the kids with them? It probably just depends on what the rules of the custody. Yeah, Denise, yeah, that's true. So mom was a Panthera, how do you say? Mom was studying mixology, but she did not work right now, and she was looking for a job. Some people have said grandma and grandpa are truck drivers. I will say that on the property, on grandma's property and grandpa's property, there is a massive, massive camper. So I don't know if grandma and grandpa stayed in there and the kids stayed in the house or what, but I do know there's a really large camper on the property as well as a giant in-ground pool. Yep, even if the parents were working, those kids were there all day. Is that what it was, Denise? They normally pick up at 3:30 but didn't pick up. I wondered if that's because grandma was like, no, leave them there till. See, something, yeah. I just don't think that they did something to him over the child support thing. I think that was minor compared to some of the other things they had going on that they were going to get in trouble for. Supervised visits, wow, Sally. 6 to 5:29. Wow. I mean, the babysitter did. So I will say, Mom, Leilani does not have a driver's license. Some people are asking about that. She's allegedly lost. It said she had a professional license of some sort. I don't know what that is, but she's lost that, her driver's license. Like, she pretty much doesn't have anything. And okay, Panthera, I am. And if you look, like when the babysitter says they brought their daughter with no milk, she had to call the boyfriend because Leilani wouldn't answer. Oh gosh, Panthera, yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah, she was into some stuff. So it sounds like mom was frequently unavailable and stuff. The bruises and stuff, the babysitter we heard says there was belt marks on Quinton. Like, I don't know. I haven't heard how long okay. I haven't heard how long grandma was out of town. How frequent she was out of town, I mean. Like, was she out of town a really long time? A lot, and they were left with mom. Like, was this the first time they were left with mom? I guess I don't know that part of it, and I'm trying to. Yeah, Sally. Yeah, they wouldn't even, the babysitter, to me, I feel like they felt the babysitter knows way too much. And mom obviously didn't care much for the babysitter, but so Panthera sent me these about grandma. Now, this isn't some of the things that have been going around that I've seen, but this is just some things that she found that some of the darker things grandma's into. Could be nothing, but it's a little creepy. I can't, like, it is hard to picture my grandma into this stuff. That's that's kind of gross. That's definitely kind of gross. It's kind of gross. Yeah, the babysitter, it did sound like they were her safe haven. She had them all the time. Grandma mixologist, yeah, she's a. So one question I have that I always wonder. I try to give you guys information, but I also like to talk through things with you because it just helps my brain process things. I wonder why Quinton, Yeah, it's on her Facebook. Yeah, Brian Laundry vibes. I'm telling you, I hope the FBI, because if you guys remember what Punkette found on mom's, remember mom's only what, like three months out from having a baby. So a lot of people have said postpartum, and if she's self-medicating with drugs, like they found on TikTok, one of her newer TikToks a few days ago, like before he went missing, was like the world would be better without her. Just some really disturbing stuff. And I hope the FBI has a really good. I hope the FBI knows her whereabouts. I'm telling you. Somebody did say if she's on drugs and the FBI is watching her right now, okay, Panthera, then she is going to be like detoxing unintentionally right now because obviously they're watching her. And if that's the case, she very well might talk. Yeah, that is hard. But I guess because like Gannon wasn't Letitia's, so that's what I thought about him. But why Quinton? Maybe Denise, she's not as close to Quinton. Maybe she feels like Quinton was the one that caught. Maybe Quinton was the hardest to deal with. But Quinton was the one to come in with the bruises. Quinton was the one with the belt marks. True, Denise, and the new baby. What I've seen on mom's Facebook is like dad holding the thing, like this aspiring musician holding the baby's finger and stuff like that, like not her really. So I mean, it's entirely possible. But it is, I don't know if Quinton was just a tougher to deal with and he was the one that took the brunt of it or what. Yeah, he had bruises, Sally. In fact, he had belt marks at one point. Hey, snow remover. Yeah, Glitter, you're right. You're right. I don't know, y'all. I just get really bad Evelyn Boswell vibes here. I do think they'll find him, and I think they'll probably find him pretty soon. But I will be very surprised if he's alive, and that is awful. It's awful. It's awful. I want to make sure I didn't miss telling you anything before we go on to the other one. Yes, Denise, there has been speculation that mom doesn't know who his dad is, that it could be one of two guys. I mean, we know who we have listed as the dad, but I don't even know. Let me make sure Punkette hasn't sent me anything. Nah, they're doing their own thing. I mean, They're two young boys. Boys are crazy. True, Denise. I'm surprised that if the boys aren't with dad, like the biological dad, but I don't know. It's alleged that they're with her aunt, but we'll see. I just hope they're watching mom. All right. Well, I wanted to touch base on Cassie's case too, give you a little intro, and I'm sure you guys have heard that before. I'm sure you've heard of this case before and kind of what was released today, but I want to make sure there's no other questions or thoughts on this and that we haven't missed anything. Who's mad at you, Mike? Not me. Okay, that's what I wondered. So, with that theory, if there's 3 different dads for each baby, there is a possibility that he represents one that she has issues with or something. I think that's entirely possible. Snow remover, that's okay. Someone tagged me today and was like, Parker, now somebody's laughing at you or something. And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but okay. Like, I really don't care. Thanks. No, Glitter, that's the last we've heard is they were draining the pool and they had also blacked out the windows of the house today, researched that property, and that they were also seen at Grandpa's other property that's just less than a half a mile down the road, searching that again. Yeah, Mike, it's just a sad case and just, one that I'm afraid isn't going to have a happy ending. Y'all want to hear something kind of weird before I go on? This is bizarre. My Uvalde stream from the other day was demonetized, which is fine because it said the topic was too sensitive. But when it first happened, all those or anything I've talked about them from I'm getting hiccups from when I was monetized, those videos have always stayed monetized. But now that police are investigating and stuff like that, I just thought that was super interesting that it was demonetized for that reason. It just was weird. And I don't know what made me think of that, but I just came in my head. All right, so but all I can tell you then is somebody doesn't like those things getting out there. It's weird. Okay. So let's talk about Cassie Carli for a couple minutes. This case is just another one. And the reason I want to talk about this is because it is pretty mind-blowing, and I had forgotten a lot about it until Criminality posted the results. I know Beatlemaniac, and it's fine. I don't care. My frustration with it is more of so are we going to censor truth, that kind of truth now? Because that is crazy. That's crazy. You let all my videos go, but all of a sudden now that police are being investigated and stuff, now something shady. Me and my 2 brothers all have different dads, and mom treated me. Really, Mama Bear? See? I wonder. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah. So Cassie Carlisle, Carli, if you guys don't know who she is, she was a mom. This is her ex-boyfriend. Let's talk about this really quick. She went missing back March 27th in Santa Rosa County. So she went missing after she was supposed to meet, I can't ever say his last name. Her ex-boyfriend's last name is Velo or whatever. She was supposed to meet him at like this Mexican restaurant parking lot to exchange custody. Obviously, they were making a swap. He was supposed to bring the daughter back, and they were supposed to do their annual like. Oh, really, Sally? Yeah. Mike. So glitter, I know. That's frustrating. I know. Yeah, I'll talk about that. I agree. Okay. So this happened in Florida. He was arrested April 2nd for connection of her disappearance that she had gone missing on March 27th. He was arrested by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation where he was being held or whatever, tampering, blah, 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 blah. So he and Carli shared a daughter and the child was safe. And this was on March 27th. I want to get through this to get to. So this was her. So she went to Juana's Pagoda's restaurant in Nevada Beach. She was supposed to meet him. Marcus is his name, to exchange custody of their 3-year-old child. They said, and she didn't show up. Well, he alleges that they didn't show up. However, they ended up finding Spinvello in Birmingham. He had the daughter safe, and but I gotta find the info. Hold on one second, because there was something that was really important. Where did it go? Okay, there was something I wanted to show you guys before I go on with it. I know, Mike, I know. What did he do? Remind me, guys, I can't find this, and I don't know why. He did something to her phone, and that's how they ended up arresting him. Her dad ended up catching him on several lies. Oh, sorry, Mama Bear, I missed your question. She was so pretty. So she was reported missing on March 28th. Her car was found in the parking lot of, okay, so that's right. Her car was found in the parking lot of the restaurant where she was supposed to be meeting to pick up her daughter from the ex-boyfriend Marcus and do a custody exchange. She was last heard from on the 27th. She did not return home on Sunday evening. That night she was picking up her daughter, and that caused her loved ones to become alarmed. Her car was found close by, I guess, to the restaurant on that Tuesday morning. And he was arrested one day before they found Cassie's body. But he faced charges at that point. The only charges he has right now are tampering with evidence and giving false information concerning a missing persons investigation and destruction of evidence. According to statements from Cassie's father, part of her agenda on Sunday, March 27th, was to meet up with the ex-partner and father of her child, Marcus. Cassie and Marcus were allegedly meeting up to exchange custody over their 4-year-old daughter, Sailor. Reportedly, Cassie's last text to her father that detailed maintenance problems with her car and cell phone. Marcus allegedly told falsehoods to Cassie's father about dropping Cassie off at Sam's home on Sunday night. And so today, after all those months, hold on, I want to see. There's surveillance footage of where he was parked and he was going to meet up with her. Oh wow, Beatlemaniac. He texted her father from her phone, acting like, but was saying more. That's right, Sally. I've got to find those texts because I remember reading through all these things when I originally went into this story, but then it like cut off for me because there was nothing else that I could research because while we were waiting for he, um, exactly, Glitter. So she was actually found, I believe it was in a barn in Alabama, buried. No, Mike, that was I think you're thinking of Chrissy Powell in Texas, and they ended up labeling that a self. Yeah, Mike, if that's the case you're thinking about, they said her cause of death was hyperthermia because it was so hot and from apparently drinking excessive amount of alcohol. Yeah, we're going to dig into this case too a little bit because there's so much info to go through. But here's the problem. So right, Glitter? So she was found buried in a barn in Alabama. And today we've been waiting all this time for her cause of death. And today it was, let me stop sharing that. Either do I, Sally. Either do I. Yeah, Mike, that case is really, really sad. I am going to pull this one up because make sure you guys can see this. Yep, I didn't have the right one pulled up for you. So unfortunately today, and again, I didn't even know this had been released. I saw it on Criminality's page. She's awesome. But the autopsy results came back today, and they have, let's see, medical examiners in Alabama have completed the autopsy of Cassie Carli. However, rather than provide answer, the final autopsy report leads to even bigger questions as to how the Florida mother died. The final autopsy report lists both Carli's cause of death and manner of death to be undetermined. The cause of death was believed to be the only obstacle preventing Santa Rosa prosecutors in Florida from charging Marcus Spanivello, Carli's ex-boyfriend and father to the young daughter, with murder. Between the coroner and the ADFS laboratory work conducted over a 6-month period in Huntsville, forensic teams in Alabama could not determine how Carli died. This is wild. However, the surprising ruling on Carli's manner of death as undetermined rather than definitively establishing as a homicide now yields massive questions on the case and whether investigators can prove basically that he was connected to Carli's death. Law enforcement said undetermined means undetermined. However, the state examiners couldn't, it says that while the state examiners couldn't categorize the manner of death as homicide, it doesn't mean Carli wasn't the victim of murder. And that's when they said undetermined means undetermined. So at this point, Spanivello, I'm saying it wrong, I'm sure of it, remains in jail, but he's only facing charges of tampering with evidence, giving false information concerning a missing persons investigation, and destruction of evidence connected to allegedly disposing of Carli's phone. And, the sheriff said in April that he had strong confidence that Spanivello was responsible for Carli's death. Oh my gosh. The trial is jury selection is supposed to begin October 17th, which is like very soon. This is not good. So I did see somebody say that the family has said they're going to hire another pathologist or something, but how can we just have no cause of death? She's very close. Yes, she was very close Denise, was he? Denise, was he? They came out with that info? I am really scared that this mother isn't going to get the justice she deserves, because without a cause of death or a manner of death, they have nothing to go on for him for murder, I don't think. If they did, they wouldn't have still be waiting to charge him. How do you just not know? Like, this is what I'm confused about. How do you not know? What are some of the things that could be a cause of death that would be go undetermined or undetected? Well, yeah, exactly, Glitter. So let's lay out one thing right now, okay? She was buried, okay? She was buried. I am no, I'm not a brilliant person, but I don't know many people that can bury themselves after passing away. Oh my gosh, Denise. Maybe Sally. Oh wow, Mike, 13 months for autopsy. So I do know that when they were together too, it's alleged that he was pretty abusive. Um, my guess is it's one of those things where if I can't have you, no one is going to. And really, Glitter, I didn't even think about that. I just assumed you could always tell that. I didn't even think of that. I mean, this is I don't know, guys. I don't know. I just, her daughter, it's just a really sad situation. Does the right thing. Dad still gets to see the little girl, and then mm, I do know that her dad will, with his dying breath, he will fight for her to get justice. Sandy, you know? Gosh, I think about that. Wow, Denise, that's crazy. That's true, Glitter, because wasn't that the thing with Shanann that caused so much, because Shanann Watts didn't, her bone there, that hyoid or however you say it, wasn't cracked. Yeah, Beatlemaniac, we will watch it because we're gonna look at this too. I want to see if Criminality will look at it with me though, because I know she covers this case, and she's very good. And we were gonna cover a case together, so I think I'm gonna see if she'll cover this one with me. Wow, Denise. Also, not to completely get sidetracked, but the jury, I believe it says it has adjourned or something, and my phone just died. That I think this week we are going to get a Kristen Smart verdict for Paul and Ruben Flores. In my opinion, they're beyond guilty. I mean, so incredibly guilty. But some people are concerned that they are not going to be found guilty because there is no body. And so some people have said that how can her body keep moving? Because people feel like her body just keeps moving. I don't know if that's true or not. But there's definitely people concerned that the prosecution, with everything that they've done, have not been able to prove. Glitter, you can email me if you want. Have not been able to. Here, I'll shoot my email address in here. Wow, Denise. But yeah, I don't know if any of you guys have watched or like followed that trial. I know we weren't able to watch it online, but if they're not found guilty, I don't know. I think it's really hard for these cases. If you don't have an actual body or an actual cause or manner of death, I think it's really hard to get somebody convicted. I mean, I can't believe that Ruben and Paul, they don't have enough on them to convict them, but that's just me. Yeah, Sally. So they thought that, and they found. So it's crazy. They found evidence of her body being under a human body being under whatever the deck or near the deck of that one house, but it was alleged that it could have also been evidence of an ape, a deceased ape, which I have not heard of many deceased apes in California, but you never know. But there is evidence that that the body was there, but the body is. Get out of here, Aaron. Stop. You did? Oh my gosh, Aaron. I want to get your thoughts sometimes. That there isn't evidence. Thank goodness, Aaron. I read that in a report somewhere that it could have been like an ape or something like it. It was a few things that it could have been, but I thought, I don't know. The concrete part, I don't know if that's true or not. Sally, I think they did dig it up. I think they did dig it up, and that's how they found evidence of. I will. Aaron, can you email me? Are you allowed, if you're not in the jury, right? You could talk about it. I know you probably have to wait until after it's over, but. Okay, Aaron, when after the juries are done, would you consider coming on and just talking about the trial and what it was like? Because I know all of us were like, please, like it was a disappointment to not be able to watch it. So I would just love to hear, in your opinion, Aaron, if you can answer this. I don't know if you can answer this. Do you believe that there's enough evidence? Oh, yes. Aaron said yes. Woohoo! Actually, wait, don't answer that. I keep forgetting. Yeah. I'm sorry. We all want to know. Yeah, we are going to. Aaron, please email me because, like, I'll even, like, you, if you come on panel, like, anything donated that day, I will, shoot over to you for coming on and sharing your experience, to compensate your time. So do I, Mike. Mike, you know how I feel about the Kylie case. Debbie's case is tragic. Oh, you're not a juror, Aaron? Okay, cool. So yeah, after they give the thing, oh, you do think they have enough evidence? Awesome. Good. Mike, who do you think? I'm curious, Mike, do you have an opinion about? Yes, it is, Aaron. Do you have an opinion about what happened to Debbie? Mike, I haven't heard your opinion at all, I don't think. So one thing Kate found today, y'all, was that I'm so excited we're gonna have somebody that was at that trial on. I am so excited. Aaron, I'm gonna make it big too. I'm gonna get with some other creators and really advertise it. And anything made, like whatever that night will go to you for coming on and sharing about your experience for sure. So one thing, Aaron, you do have a theory. I'm sure you have a theory, Mike. One thing, Aaron, will you, or not Aaron, you'll be surprised if it comes back not guilty. One thing Kate found, and I don't want to share too much because, you know, we're kind of covering it together, but she did find that she hadn't even thought about that Venmo does have a weekly transaction fee limit of, oh, I'm so excited, Aaron, of $3,000. Now, Debbie donated the 5th to her daughter with nothing but a heart. And then the 10th donated $23.58 or whatever it was, sent it to her daughter. And so Kate was wondering, and I know I'm spoiling it. I'll wait for her, but yeah, Mike, I agree. If she had maxed out her limit as far as what Venmo will allow to transfer, if that was why there was that odd amount. And I hadn't even thought about that. So that was a pretty cool when Kate sent that to me. So, oh, I'm so excited about having Aaron on when this is done. I'm so excited. And that's another one Criminality and I were going to cover together. So I'm going to definitely get her over here when you come on. You have 6 names to your case. Denise, email me and we'll find a night that you want to come out and I will 100% help you speak out. I was more just waiting till you were ready to talk. Yeah, how long do you think, Aaron, for the jury? Email me, Denise, and we'll pick a time. And Aaron, I would assume you'll be there for the verdict reading. Why not just, I cannot believe neither one of them have folded yet. Like, none of them have folded at all. Why won't they just say where the body is? I don't understand. Gotcha, Denise. Okay, that's fine. I just don't understand why they won't. Oh, awesome, Aaron. Okay. That would make sense. I am surprised that neither the dad nor Paul have buckled for like a plea deal or anything. Like you tell where the body is and, you know, we'll drop this or whatever. But I mean, if the dad was willing to help him bury her and move her or whatever, then he's probably in it for the long haul. And I believe it was Dad, Ruben, that allegedly was the one that was calling her slut and things like that. So I know Sally and her parents, I just so badly. Oh, Aaron, I cannot wait. Aaron, was it super emotional? Just, I mean, kind of watching her parents. Gosh. Ellie needs to find the vehicle's connection. Yes. Yes, Mike. Absolutely. I agree, Mike. I think too much is being overlooked with her vehicle and the road and everything. I completely agree with that. I think there's too much focus on I don't think, yeah. Yes, the White House, Texas murder. Yeah. Jen was going to cover that with me too. I know she's been looking into it. That's Denise's case. I completely agree, Mike. I think there was so much focus on Family Dollar and everything that we're overlooking like the actual drive and everything. But wow, guys, we have some exciting, that sounds kind of horrible for me to say. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of things that need to be covered. And I am absolutely. Oh my gosh, Aaron, are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. Aaron, you're going to be able to give people an inside look to a trial that so many people wanted to go to. We do, Denise, and I believe Kristen's family wanted it publicized. To the best of my knowledge, they wanted it to be publicized, and the judge said no. Oh my gosh, Aaron, that's so terrible. Really, Mike? LE, this is Debbie's case he's talking about. So LE was looking at traffic court and asked for more security camera footage. I do think something's coming with those cases. They've been under a gag order, Aaron, her parents? Okay. Wow. Her and Alexis Gabe parents, my heart breaks for them because obviously they know, right? Kristen's parents know she's dead. Alexis's parents know she's passed away, and all they want to do is bring home their girls. Yeah, email me, Denise. We'll pick a time. All they want to do is bring home the girls. And yeah. If I were Paul, I'd totally sell out my dad for a plea deal. But anyways. All right, y'all. Well, I got to hop off of here. I got to get to bed, but I'm sure I'll be live tomorrow because I think we're in for a week of some breaking news and breaking stories. And, Lord willing, Alexis Gabe is Rebellious's. She's a girl that was killed by an ex-boyfriend in California. And Rebellious Rose's daughter was best friends with Alexis. And the guy that allegedly killed her ex-boyfriend, basically charged police so that they had to shoot him. And now he's deceased, but there's pretty good evidence pointing that the mother knows where she is and she won't talk. Yes. And people keep finding animal bones and stuff and calling them in. And there's just somebody found animal bones or something and bones, and Alexis' family drove all the way out there and they came back to be animal bones. And no, Sally, Alexis Gabe. And thanks for coming, Mike. And they just keep thinking that it's her, and then it's not. Or somebody will call something in and they'll rush out to a different thing, and then it's not. It's so heartbreaking to watch. It's just awful. It's sad. So it's just so sad. All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much, guys. You are awesome. And we will touch base tomorrow. And I am so excited about Aaron. And hopefully we get some results on a lot of these cases this week. All right, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Have an awesome night.